My name is Jim Cochran, and I want to welcome you to the Dallas-Fort Worth Solar Tour for 2020. This tour is being sponsored by the North Texas Renewables Energy Group and the American Energy Solar Society. I live in far north Dallas in the Prestonwood area, and this is my first time on the tour, and it is the first year that I've owned solar panels. So this 5-minute video is being created on August the 22nd, and it's in advance of the tour in October. I will admit that I had a good experience getting the solar panels put on my roof, mainly because I had a good installer, and I think I did adequate research to know and understand that what I was getting into, and I've been happy ever since. I bought the system outright last year. I did not get a loan, and I did not lease it, and that was for a couple of reasons. First, I wanted to get the tax credit on the federal income tax. That's being phased out in the next couple of years, but for this year, it's 26% as opposed to 30% last year. But that credit really comes right off your tax. It's not a deduction, so it's very beneficial to me. Second, I didn't want to lease it because if I sold the house, then whoever bought the house would need to assume the lease, which would be in addition to buying the house. I just felt it would be more advantageous just to own the system outright and to instead of just leasing it. Therefore, I get the tax credit, and when the house was sold, it would be much more of an asset to the house and make it more valuable. So one reason that I'm on part of this solar tour this year is that became a member of the North Texas Renewable Energies Group. And there's an interesting little caveat to that. And it was at one of those meetings after I had started to do the contract process of just seeing what I could get in terms of what it would cost and so forth. I was going to the meeting, and someone followed me out of the parking lot because they overheard me talking about it to some of the members. And it turned out to be the president of a company that sold solar panels. And long story short, after our conversation, I got a really good sense of feeling that he understood what he was talking about. He knew the product. He wasn't sort of just underselling me something. And my confidence basically made me choose him eventually as his company to install solar panels. So I must say that it was an excellent choice, and I've been happy to this very day that I made a decision. So I'm just briefly going to discuss just a little bit of the hardware on the outside that go with the solar panels. Each of the panels have a micro inverter on them, which means I can see what's happening on every panel. But what's on the outside that connects them there is basically, here's the hardware. I have the Envoy or the Enphase here, which connects all the panels together in one operation, and this box actually links it together with the Wi-Fi so that from my iPad I can see what's going on in each of the panels. I can also see what electricity is being generated and what's being sent off to the smart meter over here on the far left. This is the kill switch, which just shuts the system off if there were need to. This is the circuit breaker box, and this is something I needed to upgrade anyway. And this is something that now with new regulations, once you upgrade it, it has to go on the outside of the house. So the beauty about all that was the installer who did the solar panels, they upgraded this along with all the devices. It was all part of one contract, which means I can get a tax credit on upgrading to this box as well as putting on the solar panel. Now this right here is what's called the smart meter, and most everyone in Texas has one. And these were done initially because they knew that they would start putting out solar panels. If you look on the smart meter, there's actually a little line that goes one way or the other way. And if it's going to the left, it basically means you're generating electricity and sending it back to Encore. Or if it's coming this way, these boxes, you're basically consuming electricity. And so what this does is allows it for me, since my electricity, I'm kind of part of the whole Texas grid, I give them all my electricity. And basically, they look at what I consume, and from there they give me a credit. And that's pretty much how that works. With net metering, I can get a 1-for-1 credit, dollar for dollar, which is pretty valuable. Here at 1:30, if you notice, there's full sun on all the panels. So even with the trees to the east and west, I still get full sun, usually within this 4 to 5 hour time frame, which means I'm getting the majority of the peak hour time, which on an average in Texas is 4.9, I believe. The view from my roof is great, because from here I can see all around, and I love staying up here sometimes because it gives you such a great perspective, and it's wonderful looking at the stars at night, and it's just a great place to hang out.